Was the Apostle Paul the original Antichrist? Former minister and Bible college graduate Jeffrey Daugherty raises this and other staggering questions from the New Testament itself. The Christian Whistleblower asks if Jesus' original message has been warped into a fear and guilt-based control matrix. Here's Ali with more.
Thanks, Seb. Daugherty's 35 years of research challenge everyone to consider new perspectives and ask themselves, just what lies behind my religion? Are we born with original sin or the spark of divinity within?
Deep questions, Ali. Thanks. The Christian Whistleblower. We'll be watching.
Oh, it's late night in the heartland. Late night in crazy town. Wow. Nice to hear from everybody tonight. Special edition of Late Night in the Heartland, ladies and gentlemen. I may have completely lost my mind, or I may just be on the brink of brilliance. I'm not sure which one it is. Cynthia is, but I'm not. And we will see, ladies and gentlemen. We will see. Tonight, we are going to talk to Bill Hicks live via mediumship. I'm the medium. And this little episode is entitled, from Mr. Hicks himself, Death is Overrated. That's right, folks. I'm going to act as a medium, and we're going to talk to Bill Hicks live tonight, at least for a few moments. I felt it incumbent upon myself to share with you just a little bit before we do get started and talk about what we're doing, maybe what to expect, and to talk about the rationale behind it. Bill Hicks live via medium. Death is overrated. So let's talk a little bit about mediumship. Mediumship, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, cousins of all ages. Mediumship is the practice of purportedly mediating communication between spirits of the dead, or those that have passed from this plane, and living human beings. Practitioners are known as mediums or spirit mediums. There's different types of mediumship or spirit channeling, including seances, seance tables, trance, and Ouija. Now, belief in psychic ability is widespread despite the absence of objective evidence for its existence. And I also understand that, how shall we say it, trollery, skepticism is also going to be very widespread. And we know that you all have opinions. In the best case, you have at least two, and they're like feet. Most of them stink. In the worst case, everybody has at least one opinion, just like they have one ass, and they usually stink really, really bad. So I try to keep that in mind. And nobody's really interested in what you think on this show. They're interested in what I think. That's why they come here to this show. So, why don't you just give us a break and not tell us what you think? And if you don't like what we're doing, you don't have to stay. But if you're interested, we invite you to listen and to watch. I may take questions after, I may not, I don't know. But we don't want to hear your bitching and moaning. We really don't. Because if it's not your thing, then it's not your thing. And we invite you to go ahead and leave now. But for the rest of you, there really is no objective evidence for this being real. Jeff, how do you know it's Bill Hicks? I just know. That's it. That's the end of it. I just know. Either you know or you don't. And if you don't, you shouldn't play around with it. Scientific researchers have attempted to ascertain the validity of claims of mediumship with mostly empty results. Several different variants of mediumship have been described. Arguably, the best-known forms involve a spirit purportedly taking control of a medium's voice and having it to relay a message, or where the medium simply hears the message and passes it on. Other forms involve materializations of the spirit or the presence of a voice and telekinetic activity. I do not anticipate any materializations here tonight. I do not anticipate any disembodied voices here tonight. And I specifically forbid any telekinetic activity. We're not going to have anything getting messed up or thrown around. And the practice of mediumship, it's associated with shamanism, Vodun, spiritualism, spiritism, candomblé, voodoo, umbanda, and some new age groups. What we're going to be doing tonight, ladies and gentlemen, is known as direct voice communication. And that's the claim that spirits speak independently of the medium, who will be me in this case, who will facilitate the phenomenon rather than produce it. I won't be producing anything tonight. I will be rather facilitating any phenomenon that we see. The role of the medium, in this case me, is to make the connection between the physical and the spirit worlds. In the old days, trumpets were often utilized to amplify the signal because, they were talking to groups. I will be using no trumpets tonight, no clarinets, no piccolos, no saxophones, none of that. And directed voice mediums are sometimes known as trumpet mediums. So this form of mediumship also permits the medium to participate in the discussion during what they're calling seances. That's not a word that I would use, since the medium's voice is not required by the spirit to communicate. So we will have a discussion, an interview between myself and Bill Hicks. Leslie Flint was one of the best known exponents of this form of mediumship. Mr. Flint was from 1911 to 1994, a British medium who's credited as having been one of the best psychics and the last psychics to use direct voice mediumship. He has been described by spiritualists as the most renowned psychic of the 20th century. I didn't just wake up a week ago and decide to do this. I spent many hours at Casadega, which is a spiritualist encampment. I've thought about it. I've meditated on it. And I just feel like it's the right thing to do. I feel like Mr. Hicks has something to say. And I feel like taking the step and facilitating his bringing forth the message to you. We might do it all the time. We might never do it again. But we are going to give it the old college try tonight. And you can't say we're timid. You can't say we don't try. And you can't say that we don't push the envelope. And that's what we do, ladies and gentlemen. That's what we do here. If I thought it was just for entertainment, I probably wouldn't be doing it. But something tells me that there's going to be some profound communication that comes through. And I'm stalling a little bit because it's a little bit intimidating. I've never done this before. And of course, the first time I do it, I've got to go live in front of what will be, by the end of the week, 10,000 people. So, ladies and gentlemen, death is overrated. Bill Hicks live via medium. I'm just going to take a couple breaths and get myself together. And then we will welcome in Bill Hicks. I'm not being possessed by Bill Hicks. I'm providing Bill Hicks a channel like on a TV, just a little channel to speak. And as soon as we're finished, Bill Hicks will have to leave and withdraw and will not be allowed to stay. And even though I could probably use him next time I do stand-up if I do. But at any rate, we're not going to allow that to happen. And Bill and I have already talked, and we'll get into some of that, I'm sure. But ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, cousins of all ages, without any further ado, let's do this and let's see what we come up with. I don't know what to expect, but ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and invite in the great comedian Bill Hicks. If you don't know who Bill was, he was one of the great comedic minds. And he also did what very few comedians have been able to do. He bridged the gap between straight up entertainment comedy, and he also became a very effective social commentator at the same time. And it is so hard to make people laugh. And that's what your job is as a comedian, is to make people laugh. And to be able to make people laugh and to drop bombs of enlightenment and truth, it's a skill that very few have had. I think Hicks had it. You could argue that Carlin had it. And outside of that, I don't know. Like George Carlin would say, it's a small club. And I think these two guys are the only ones in it. So let's see what we can do. Mr. Hicks, I'm Jeffrey Daugherty. We've talked, we've communicated, and I would like to ask you if you do feel like you have something to say to these people. We would like to go ahead and give you the opportunity to speak through me. And I have a few questions for you that I'd love for you to answer. I don't know if we'll take questions from the audience. That seems a little too much, but Mr. Hicks, it seems like you're ready. And all right, guys, here we go. Without any further ado, ladies and gentlemen, it's our honor and our privilege to welcome via medium, the one, the only, the great Bill Hicks. Bill, welcome in to Late Night in the Heartland. It's a pleasure to have you, Bill Hicks. Well, thank you. Appreciate it. It's an honor. It's an honor to be with you. So, Mr. Hicks, I want to ask you a question, and I hate to ask you this question. It's the stupidest fucking question that's ever been asked, but I've got to ask it because every damn body in here wants to know it. It's on the tip of everybody's tongue. Bill Hicks, I hate to ask it, but I have to ask it. Bill Hicks, are you still alive playing the role of Alex Jones? Bill Hicks, are you still alive playing the role of Alex Jones? How can I put this? Let me think how I could put this in a way that is dignified, yet a way that can be easily understood. Am I Alex Jones? Let me explain this to you. If I had a choice between, say, rolling up my sleeve and gnawing through the flesh of my own wrist, gnawing through the flesh of my own sinew and bone, gnawing straight down to the radial artery, and then tearing my radial artery between my own teeth from wrist to elbow, I would choose to do that with joy, with glee, before I would spend 2.3 seconds as Alex Jones. No, I am not Alex Jones, and I think I've made pretty clear what I'd be willing to do to not be Alex Jones. Okay, I can see that. So I will take that as a no. We're going to put down that no, Bill Hicks is not Alex Jones. So we're going to put that down. I got just a wild question for you. A wild question that I didn't even write down on the paper. I know you can see and you can observe, obviously. What do you think about these people walking around with these masks? And would you wear one today if you were still with us and you were required? Well, I would have a little bit of problem with the mask because I had a really big problem with smoking cigarettes. So it'd be a little difficult to smoke through the mask. Although I could imagine you cut a little hole Of course, the bitch would be blowing the hole out, the smoke out through the little hole, but you could do that. But what would happen is that, well, here's the thing. I hear that you guys get this mask knee. Some of you people are wearing masks, and I can't believe you're wearing masks, but you're wearing it for so long and so often that you get what's called mask knee. Mask knee. Now, if I were there and I were wearing mask, trying to smoke through the little hole, I had a habit of falling asleep while I was smoking. So I could imagine that if I was smoking through that little hole and it burned down and I got a little bored and then all of a sudden the mask burst into flame, melted and molded to my face, or just burned me horribly, well, that would at least take care of the mask, wouldn't it? It's stupid. It's ridiculous. And no, you will never see me wearing a mask. I got it, Bill. I got it. Thank you. Thank you very much. Can you smoke where you are now? You can, but it's not nearly as enjoyable. You can smoke where we are now, but the smoking is pleasurable to the body. I mean, there's the habit and there's doing it, but it's kind of an empty exercise where I am, because you can do it, you can do anything you want, but it doesn't taste, it doesn't feel, it's just not the same. So you could do it, but kind of a waste of time. Kind of a waste of time. I get it. What about reincarnation? Somebody wanted me to ask you, have you reincarnated? Would you reincarnate? What are you waiting for? Well, I would be waiting for a good reason. Why would I want to reincarnate back to where you were? Why? What can I do there that I can't do here besides smoke cigarettes? Why would I want to? And it was funny that you were talking to me about leaving. Bill, are you sure you'll leave, that you won't stay? And the question I have, and the question I'd ask everybody to think about is, why would I want to stay? Why would I want to stay? You see, there's a reason why I gave you this little idea, death is overrated. And some of you may remember back when I was down there smoking cigarettes and trying to stay off of Dick Joke Island, I had a little saying that I'd say every now and then, and I'd say that life is a ride. And it is. Life is a ride. And I'll just add to that, life is a ride and death is overrated. Death is overrated. So many of you spend so much of your life, which you should be enjoying the ride, you spend so much of your life worrying about death. And death, it's way overrated. Way overrated. If I can tell you anything, and I can tell you anything I want, life is a ride. Remember that. And it's a ride that's meant to be enjoyed. And if you spend any time worrying about death, which is overrated, you're wasting your time. Because if you do all you know to do, and if you figure out life is a ride and you enjoy the ride, death, well, it's just another ride in another amusement park. Life is a ride and death is overrated. And that's really why I wanted to come on and talk to you, Jeff. But oh boy, guys, I'm about to be set up. Jeff, there's somebody here that wants to say something to you. Okay. Okay, so I wonder who this is going to be, ladies and gentlemen. Hello, Jeffrey. This is Sam Kennison. How are you, Jeffrey? I'm great, Sam. How are you? Well, I'm doing really good, but I just had a little question for you. You know, I was here talking to you before, and then tonight I see that Bill Hicks here. Bill Hicks gets a full-blown interview, and all I got was to talk through the fucking sticks. And I just wanted to ask you what was up with that. Oh, thanks so much, Bill. I appreciate that. Sam, you're right. And I didn't know what I was doing then. I still don't know what I'm doing now. But if we ever do this again, Mr. Kennison, I will invite you to come and talk. And I think you would probably have some very interesting things to say. But that's about it, folks. I'm just trying to see if there's anything. No, that's about it. That is about it, folks. Bill Hicks, life's a ride, death is overrated. I really feel like he just wanted to come in and make that one point. And, of course, Sam making a fun point there. So I don't know, guys. There it is. There it is. I don't know if it was great. I don't know if it was lousy. But we were obedient to what we felt like needed to be done. So you're the shit, Jeffrey. You can be comical even when you're being serious. Never really got into what Bill Hicks was all about. That's your loss. John says he's seen many in dreams. Bill Hicks was awesome. Let's see. What else? Cynthia said, yeah, no throwing things around. Absolutely. Is he claiming to speak to a Holy Spirit? No, was not claiming that. It is just a ride. I am says no pickle, I'm out. And we've got some people that are just too dumb to really be here. Really too dumb to be here. But what are you going to do? I'm new to this, so I'm listening. I've ran into a few claiming to be mediums, but I think they were fakers. Didn't come off as the real. Okay, there you go. Oh, I'm going to have fun banning some people out of this thing tonight. I really am. I'm going to have a great time banning some bitches for sure. Because, I mean, people just aren't very nice. They're just not very nice. Let's see what else we got. I can't wait. I'm starting to love this stuff. I'm a Hicks fan. Hope you brought a pack of smokes. I thought about that, but I didn't want to smoke here in the house. Cynthia would be very, very upset with me if I did that. Let's see what else we got. It's worth a shot. Absolutely. Let's see what else is going on. What else we got? Totally agree with you. This is going to be interesting. Do you think it was interesting, Michelle? We're holding a space. I appreciate this. You got it. Yeah, I did have fun. It was, it is what it is. I think it was worth the shot. What else we got? Death is like turning the page. I would agree with that 100%. Let's see what else we got. Welcome, Bill Hicks. Thank you, Carmen, for being so supporting. Cynthia, I know what this is. I'm not sure if she knows what she meant by that. Great work. Alex is a jerk. Absolutely. Jeff, you can be anything you want. So awesome tonight. There you have it, folks. I knew it was going to be really short. You know what? We'll go ahead against my better judgment. We'll open up the phone lines real quickly. Not going to spend a long time, but if you have a question or if you have a short comment and you can keep from being an asshole, I welcome you to call. And if you want to be an asshole, you can still call. I can hang up on you very quickly and very easily. And sometimes it's worth a laugh. So the phone number, I'll put up the Late Night in the Heartland slide so you can see the phone number. And you can call in. We'll take a couple calls. We'll get a couple comments, and then we're going to be out of here. So 913-279-0831, 913-279-0831. If anybody does want to call. You could use a vape pen. Yeah, that would have been interesting. I'm actually intrigued by things that are deemed forbidden by the church. Yeah. It's a victory pose moment. Jeff, take a bow. Thanks. Yeah, I think it was very successful. I really do. The birth we call death. Can you tell us more? He's been, this has been coming for a while. I've been in the way. Well, common sense has been in the way. Love is the greatest. Bill Hicks might have been the best there ever was. Absolutely. Thanks for making my night. I think that's probably to Bill Hicks. And yeah, I think it was interesting. I think it was worth it. I think it was fun. And what a great message that life really is a ride, folks. It really is a ride. And death is overrated. I find that so liberating. I find that so empowering. And it just makes me feel even better about living this life with everything that I have, knowing that it is going to come to an end. But it's no big thing. Life is a ride, and death is overrated. Those are the words of Bill Hicks, with a special surprise appearance by Mr. Sam Kinison. Well, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Let me know what you think on the comments. Was it fun? Was it worth it? Was it not worth it? It's very, very hard, and it takes a lot of energy, and I think it takes a lot more energy from Bill Hicks to manifest across to our dimension. So there it is, folks. For what it's worth, a night with a few minutes with Bill Hicks. We heard from the great comedian, from the great beyond. He told us that he absolutely positively is not AJ, and we should stop saying that stupid thing. He asked us, why would he want to stay? Why would he want to reincarnate? That makes perfect sense to me. He said you can smoke up there, but why would you want to? And he basically said life's a ride and death is overrated. So don't waste 1 second. Don't waste 1 second worrying about what's going on here or worrying about what's going to happen there. Just put the pedal to the metal, unindoctrinate yourself, create yourself, and live the life that you'll love. Thank you to Bill Hicks. Thank you for the surprise appearance by Sam Kinison, another giant in the comedic world. And with that, this has been a special presentation of Late Night in the Heartland. We'll be back tomorrow night at 10 p.m. Central Time for our regular show, which will go all the way till midnight. And we take your calls. Open line. You can talk about what you wanted. You can talk about the subject, or you can talk about what you want to talk about. We're here Monday through Friday, 10 p.m. till midnight Central Time. And every now and then, a special edition like this. I'm Jeffrey Daugherty. This is the Unindoctrination Station. And we encourage you to unindoctrinate yourself.